Welcome to NCAA Net Profit. We're here at Pub Sports Radio, and we're live, baby, live. College basketball is back. Man, do I feel good. And I got to bring on my guy. He's going to be with all year. It's my pleasure to work with this guy. He's so great. He loves cupcakes. He's told me to always support my local strippers. He loves honey, chicken tenders. So, no other than that, bring him out. Maxwell Smart, he is live. He is here in the flesh. He's like a bear in hibernation. He's been sleeping, all this offseason, just getting prepared and getting ready. Or as an alligator in the woods, ready to fucking eat. He's ready. He is ready to make money. He's here. Let's go, baby.
I'm ready. I'm here, Conor. I'm fucking ecstatic that Pub Sports Radio is letting you and I do a fucking college basketball show at dinner time. You just got off work. You don't want to talk to your wife. You got a place to come to. Come to Pub Sports Radio. Come to NCAA Net Profits. Conor and I will take care of you. We'll entertain you. We'll fucking drop some gimmicks. We'll give you some winners. And when your wife isn't looking, take that money to the local strip club and support some local strippers. So I'm hyped. Perfect. I'm ready. Let's get right into it.
Let's get right to the big one. Let's get into these big games right away. I know you touched on them earlier on Jimmy's show, but Kansas versus Michigan at MSG, 7 Eastern. Number 3 Kansas, unranked Michigan State. Man, I'm going to throw it right to you. Give me a little bit what you have on this game, and then I'll give it what I got. Hit it.
Yeah, listen, with this game, I think that you need to take your head out of the DFS world, put it into the betting world, and understand when you go from conference to conference, you are going up and down in competition. And that is what Kansas's main acquisitions are going to have to overcome. The numbers are not on their side. I talked about it a little earlier. Against Tier A competition, Remy Martin and Joseph Yesufu have some proving to do. And when you put on that freaking blue Kansas Jayhawk jersey, I think that a little bit comes with that. So Michigan State, this is a team that has lots of length. This is a team that had a very bad point guard situation last year that led to a lot of inefficiency. That's done now. They brought in a point guard that was a rival of one of their existing point guards, and these guys are going to build the kind of chemistry that is going to make Michigan State a fearsome opponent in the Big Ten, and it's going to start with freaking opening night in Madison Square Garden.
I like that. So this is official. You have bet Michigan State?
Yeah, I have Michigan State. I took it on Jimmy's show at 4.5. Okay. I got it on the opener last week at 5.5. And I'm on the under and I'm on the over. I have an over 139 and I have an under 145. Tracking those lines, Conor. That's what I do, staring at these screens all day.
I love it. Right out of the gate, Maxwell trying to catch a middle. Man. You can't get better than that. Man, this game was close for me to bet. I laid off. I agree. I lean towards the under with you in this spot. But I lean the other side, which is crazy. Normally I'm a point grabber. I don't usually lay too many points with any teams. Michigan State last year was so up and down. They just never got anything together. Obviously, a brand new year. And me and Max are going to get into this. We're rolling off last year, COVID. There's still more COVID. We're going off KenPom. We're going off some transfers. A lot of guys got to transfer. You talked about Remy Martin. I have questions about him. Like you said, they kept him out of that exhibition game. He's going to score, but his attitude, I just don't know if he's a Kansas Jayhawk, and Self would want him there. You talked about Wilson's out in this one for Kansas. Coleman's questionable, but I still think they're deeper. McCormick, I just think Kansas is a little bit the better team. Michigan State has struggled in these neutral site games. They're 1-7 at ATS the last 8. But man, 4.5 points when I think that Michigan State, they're always laying a huge number. So I don't blame you grabbing the points, but I lean the other side a little bit with Kansas -4. I didn't bet it, but man, I lean that way. Let's get to the other big one. You ready?
Absolutely. Let's move.
Excellent. Next game at MSG. Here we go. Man, another good one. A couple of top teams. Kentucky at Duke. Duke's all the way up to a 3-point favorite. Totals 149. Hit me with it, Max. What do you got here?
Listen, I thought that this game is getting pure action and pure money from alumni. Like, we know that legalized betting is going to have an impact on the handles of these games. And this is a perfect example. The opening night, everybody and their mother knows that the Blue Bloods are on their way up after a really down year last year. And I think that people are just looking at Kentucky's record from last year and being like, yeah, I'm taking Duke. But when you look at the matchup and the personnel, complete overhaul for Kentucky. They finally decided to take advantage of the one-time transfer rule, went out on the transfer market, got Savar Wheeler, got Kellen Grady. They got CJ Frederick, even though he's not playing, Oscar Tshiebwe. Like, these are guys that have played and have played a decent programs also, not losing programs. So they come here understanding how to win. Now they just got to understand how to win with John Cal fucking yelling at them. And when you look at Kentucky, one thing they couldn't do last year, Conor, is make a 3-point shot if their life depended on it. That is not the case this year. So I think that Kentucky is going to bring stingy defense and put that game against Miles College out of your head. Miles College is a championship quality D2 team. And let's be brutally honest. If Duke's going to win, they're going to have to win with a huge performance from Paolo Banchero. And if they don't shoot threes and make threes, I don't see how they're going to be able to win and cover by more than 3 points.
I love it. Let me give a quick shout out to the chat. Our guys real quick. Let's get in here. Brian Watson, Jason Gum, Abel Alvarez, Tony Bass, Kenny V. Who else is in here? Our guy, Babano, Ian Cameron, Tyler Duda, Wyatt Chapman, Uzman Goated, Casino Connected. All right, I like it. Our guy, Nikki Fish Tanks, Taylor MacArthur, JR, all of you, thanks for joining us. It's college basketball, baby. It's me and Max. We're ready to roll. It's opening night, and there's a shit ton of games. But yeah, I know. Let's get to it. You know what? I don't get the move either. Maybe I'm a Duke hater, being such a UNLV guy here in Vegas over the years. My favorite thing to do is fade Duke, but they're always laying crazy number. They're not here. They have a little bit more size, but you're right, nailed it. I think that 3 shot, they rely on it too much. They did last year. It cost them. But on the other end, you mentioned it, Kentucky wasn't good offensively, but I think they have the better backcourt, and I think they're more athletic. Calipari, he's only going to run about 8 guys this year. He talked about he's going to keep the bench short, 7 or 8 guys. So that'll be interesting. They're not very deep, but they're pretty talented, those 7 or 8 guys. I like the other side as well. I like the 3 with Kentucky a little bit here. I haven't bet it, and I might get to the window. And I think the under here, what is it, 149 exactly right now? Yeah. I lean under here as well. These 2 I haven't bet yet, but I'm almost there with it. I like that you're on Kentucky a little bit in this spot.
I'm also on the under. I got it under 150. I think that this is definitely a spot where defense is going to be at the forefront. While I have said a bunch of negative things about Duke in this analysis and breakdown, I will say this. They are going to have a quality defense. They are going to be able to defend the rim, stop you from taking good shots. It's going to be a real question mark whether their front court can stay out of trouble, but having Mark Williams and Theo John, the Marquette transfer, you're not doing too bad from the get-go.
I agree, and that's something Duke is needed. They haven't been very good defensively, down low. That's just been a problem for them. I always call them too soft, not very good defensively. And on the other side, they rely on the 3 too much. So we'll see if, Duke's a little different this year here early in this game. I'm pumped. Bright lights will be on MSG like you talked about in the second game. So I'm ready and I'm hyped for it. All right, Maxie, let's get to your first one. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, but before we get to my games, you know what else I'm hyped about? I'm hyped about the fact that you and I are doing a show with a question and answer segment at the end. So for everybody in here, make sure that you stick around to the end, because that is when we're going to go through all your games and all the games that we didn't touch on. So
exactly. So if you have a question or two, throw out whatever you like, always in the chat. You guys are the shit. We love you. But yeah, till the end, save the questions and any games we didn't touch on. Just hit us up in the end. We'll throw it out in the last 10, 15 minutes. We're going to get through everyone's anyone's questions on games. But let's get to that first one, Max. Yours. You there? You're muted, brother.
Well, that was a mistake. All right, so we're going to go to this Morehead State Auburn game. I think that when you look at Morehead State, this is a team that definitely is a candidate to have some defensive three-point regression, but this Auburn team is definitely on the ups, looking up. Last year was a very disappointing season for them. They had Sharif Cooper. They had a bunch of expectations that they didn't meet. And I think this year, the prognosis is a lot higher. When you look at this line, this is a line that opened up at 15.5. We've seen it go up and down. I think that this is a line where Morehead State is going to have to really be able to push the tempo, be effective on the defensive end, and really limit Auburn's three-point shooting. I think that with Morehead, this is another team that has point guard issues that you have to be aware of. I think that you don't really have a natural point guard. I do think that there are going to be some turnover issues, but I think that Auburn's post defense and weakness and youth there is going to be the downfall. I think that with Auburn's also, I don't think it's improved transition defense. I think that's going to be hurtful also. And I just think that with this number, it's just a little too high. This is a Morehead State team that's going to challenge in the OVC. They have two of the best big men in the conference. They brought in Kenny Cooper. They brought in freaking Tate Hall. So like they have guards that can Elon Cooper, not Kenny Cooper. That can actually
that won't be the first F up on a name. Believe me, I'm gonna have a few, baby. Keep going.
No. So I just think that this is an Auburn offense that's going to look really good in a lot of matchups. I just don't think that they're going to be able to score easily near the rim against Morehead State's front court. I think Morehead State's going to do just enough to stay in it and backdoor cover this game. So I'm looking to get on them as a dog at 15 or 15.5.
Excellent. You know what I love more than anything? This first game, we were both on it, and you're on the side I am here with Morehead State getting 15 points. Man, they were a pretty good team last year, like you talked about. 7-3 in the OVC in Ohio Valley. Their problem was scoring. You know, they were 244th in scoring, but their defensive scoring was 35th. I thought it was really, really good. They will have problems shooting it at times. They weren't a good free throw shooting team, 68%, but either was Auburn. You know, they were 70, and they're, to me, just weren't very good defensively. And I don't see that changing at all. Yes, they have the better athletes here. They're more talented, but I'm with you. I think 15 is too many here. I think they backdoor can keep this game close. You know, Flanagan's back for Auburn. He scored 14 a game. I think they'll be okay and be able to score the ball. But that defense, I just keeps in the back of my mind of last year, and I don't think it's gotten any better. And I love the core. What we're looking at a lot of these games today are these teams that they got transfers, but a lot of, have brought back their players. You know, they're getting an extra year. They're getting to stay. So you're seeing that. So teams like Morehead State are a team to look out for going forward. We'll have a few others we're going to touch on that I think will be good cover teams as the year goes on. And I'll take the 15 with them right here today with you.
All right, nice. I like to be on the same side as you, Connor, when you're on a dog, because we know what you do with dogs. We've seen you do it with baseball. We've seen you do it with college football. We've seen you do it with pretty much every goddamn sport.
Thanks, buddy. Let's get it. You got your second?
Yeah, let's move on to my next game. We'll move on to UC Irvine and New Mexico State. That is a game at New Mexico State. They're a 5.5-point favorite with a 135.5 total right now. That is a game where I think that UC Irvine is going to have a little bit of trouble containing all the different offensive weapons in the backcourt for New Mexico State, and then all the versatile lineups that they can run out you with their guys at the 4 and 5 position. I think that adding a guy like Mike Peake from Austin P is going to pay a lot of dividends, and I think that the only question mark I really have about this New Mexico State team is who's going to play the point guard and who's going to be dominating those minutes, because last year and the year before we had New Mexico State had Evan Gilliard, and Evan Gilliard was a very stable, consistent offensive point guard. And now you're relying on Mario McKinney, you're relying on Vershawn Cotton, and I think personally I would have Vershawn Cotton out there, even if Nate Pryor wasn't injured. I think that with Cotton, he comes over from LIU. They played a fast tempo, a lot of transition opportunities. The guy has good vision and he can score the basketball from all three levels. So to throw that alongside Teddy Allen and Jabari Price, I don't think that there's going to be a more dominant 1-2 tandem in the Western Athletic Conference. So New Mexico State, to throw a caveat on top, is 119-10 at home. This is a money line parlay piece. This is a teaser piece. This is a New Mexico State -5.5 piece. And as much as UC Irvine deserves our respect, Russell Turner is a fantastic coach who recruits and develops big men better than anybody on the West Coast, aside from Mark Few. I just don't see the backcourt options with Isaiah Lee and freaking DJ Davis and Dawson Baker. It's just not good enough, in my opinion, in this matchup with a Rice and Allen duo that could give you 50 points. So I'm doubling up, and I may even jump on the first half later on. So
this one's interesting. You might be right. Irvine kind of stepped it up last year, breaking through, in there. They kind of always were second fiddle, but they were good at 18-9, and I was impressed. But you might be right. They might not have it with Davis and Lee, in the backcourt. The big questions, we talked about this game a little bit the other day. New Mexico State, I thought they disappointed a little bit last year, but like you said, they're back home. They're playing at home. They started playing like they should at the end of last year. They have some length, like you talked about, the former Ute, Donnie Tillman, and they got some players. And this one is a lean for me. I haven't got there. And we've seen a little money on UC Irvine, drop to 5.5. An interesting game. I don't know if I get to the window. I think it should be a good one. But you talked about it. Irvine, too, not a very good road team. You got to think of these teams. That team's very good at home. They have a tough time struggling. And this could be right in the range where New Mexico State could get the cover. So I'd lean with you as well, just a little bit here with the 5.5.
All right. Well, listen, Connor, anytime that you're going to say that you agree with me, it's going to make me feel good. It's going to make me think positive thoughts. And as our friend Sharpie, the BBW slayer, the harpoon master, the lover of 350-pound women, keep it positive and positive things will happen. So,
of course, we're going to be real quick. As good as we are going to agree, there's a million games. We're already going to disagree coming up, and I can't wait. We're going to do some some good old arguments as well, but it's all love. It's all good here. Go ahead, brother. You got your third one?
It's going to be like playing fucking hockey again, That's what it's going to be. It's like going to be like talking in the fucking locker room after we're all sweaty and fucking nasty. All right. My third game, Connor, is a game that probably is not going to be on a lot of people's radar, but if you like making money, I think that this should be on your radar, and that's Rice and Pepperdine. Right now, we have a line of 7.5, but that game opened at 4.5 in favor of Rice. So we've seen some money come in on them, obviously. And that total opened at 161, and it's down to 157.5. So we've seen the number come down, and that's fair considering the transition that this Pepperdine basketball team is going through. Not only are they losing Edwards and Colby Ross, they're having to work through incorporating new pieces that weren't able to participate in the exhibition season and led to an absolutely atrocious, embarrassing loss, 27-point loss against Point Loma. So Pepperdine has a lot of making up to do. I think that they do come out inspired, but they're going up against a Rice team that is just laden with shooters. They have a gifted passing 7-foot big man in Max Fiedler. And really, it doesn't matter how bad the Owls defense is. If they're dropping shots with Travis Evie and Quincy Oliveri from the perimeter, I don't see Pepperdine being able to keep this game within 10 points. So this is a spot where I think that Lorenzo Romar should be fired. I think that this is a spot where he did try his best to bring in good recruits, but there's not enough depth there. So I'm all over Rice. I got a better number than it is now. At this point, I would be trying to recommend that you guys take the first half.
Okay.
But that's just a lean right now.
And what is the first half right now at? 3.5? 3?
4.
4. Okay.
Yeah.
Just double check on that. I'm with you. Rice, for me, last year, they came out so well, at like 10-2, 10-3. You talked about they kind of fell off the map when they got conference play, and that'll happen. We can talk about that a little bit right now. This is brand new, start of the year, first game. Some of these teams are going to play unreal, really good in non-conference play, and it gets to conference play. Records will change. They kind of hit the shitter. But I'm with you. With Mullins and Evie, I think they hit their shots. The 4 was the number. It's gotten a little out of hand. I don't mind the first half bet. This was one I wrote down. We're going to be doing a line kind of movement segment at the end for everyone in the chat too. Just we're going to run through every day some of these games that have, whether there's value or there's not value on taking. And even like Max is saying, this is a game where he thinks there's still a little bit of value first half instead of going full game now that this has got up to 7.5 and 8. So I agree with you as well. This is still a lean, but I think Rice just has a better team. You talk about Pepperdine. Romer, he probably should be canned. You're right. They can score. They still can't play defense. So that's my lean there with you, brother.
All right. So let's move on to my next game, and that is going to be a game that's near and dear to my heart because there's a goddamn bunch of Canadians involved in it. And everybody knows from watching me the last couple of years, I love my Canadians. There's going to be 158 Division I Canadian basketball players. And I want to be able to talk to you guys about every single one of them. Hopefully you don't want to kill me or throw a rock in my face. If you do, hopefully you don't know where I live. But when we look at this freaking Northwestern Colgate game, I think that the line is really shifted in favor of Northeastern, and I understand why that's happening. With Northeastern, this is a team that obviously is in transition because they are losing their star point guard in Tyson Walker. But the reality is, there's the same thing going on the other side for their opponent in this game. And Colgate lost Jordan Burns. That's a huge loss for them. This game opened up at 8.5 for Colgate at home. Now, that's more of a number you'd expect when they're playing one of the top teams within the Patriot League, not when they're playing a team like Northeastern coming from the CAA. This definitely is an interesting matchup because Northeastern has a ton of length and versatility at all the wing positions. So my fellow Canadian Jamal Telford, I think that he's going to be at the forefront of that. And Jason Strong, Nicolo Drogo from Notre Dame, they're going to be involved. And they ended up adding 2 really nice scoring wing players in Scott Grayson and Tyreek Scott Grayson and Joe Pridgeon from UNC Wilmington. So there's just a lot more action and a lot more ways that Coach Cohen can spread the ball around and beat an opponent. So now you want to give me more than 2 3-point buckets with a team like that, length, size, good defense versus a team that is below them, is beneath them in my power rankings and conference rankings. The one thing that you have to be worried about Colgate is, can you stop them from making threes? Can you stop Nelly Cummings? Can you stop Jack Ferguson? Can you stop Tucker Richardson? These are the guys that are going to freaking be leading the way now. And with Colgate's ball movement and spacing, it can cause problems for some of the better defenses. I think that this is a matchup where it's going to be determined by your big men. Chris Doherty against Jeff Woodwards, against Keegan Records. Both of these guys are superior defenders, and they can operate on the low post. At the end of the day, I think that there's too many personnel areas, and there's number value taking Northeastern. I think at 7 points, it's still worth a look. And at 148, if both these teams are able to hit threes, that's going over. I think it's a live total to bet, and I think it's a Northeastern spread full game to take.
Do you think in this one that this number's just too big for Colgate? Because to me, they're always the top here. This league a lot better than me. Is that just the case here? This is just too many with Colgate?
I think it's just too many. I'm not even sure that they win the game. I think it could be even an outright win.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I just kind of glanced through this game. What was the one you mentioned on Walker, Max? About like they're missing his points, like how bad,
So the one thing about losing Tyson Walker to Michigan State is the fact that they had to replace him at the point guards. They had to replace him at the point guard spot with Glenn McClintock. I think that's the one weakness for Michigan for Northeastern. But if they can get past that and they can play like some positionless basketball the way that UNC Wilmington does, I don't think that it's going to be a major handicap in this game because they're going up against a small backcourt.
Okay, great. Yeah, because I was just wondering how they're gonna, how's that backcourt gonna be without him gone with with those points.
I personally think that Jamal Telford's going to be the leading scorer on this team. I think that he could average close to 16 points a game if he gets the minutes and the shot attempts.
All right, excellent. I love to hear it. You are the man. You know that a lot better than me. I love hearing all this stuff with the team. Teams like Colgate and Northeastern. Let's get to your. Is this your last one?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're going to go to Cincinnati and Evansville. This is a game that you could get at 9 or 9.5 and a total at 135.5. This is just a Cincinnati spot that I think that you're going to see Wes Miller, UNC Greensboro type basketball come out. Using their big men, dominating the paint, not allowing you to get close and get high percentage looks is something that you come to expect watching Greensboro. They always have two big men, and that's going to be key for Cincinnati this year. I think that when you look at this roster, they're going to need Abdullah Adu, the Mississippi State transfer, to be that guy to play alongside Hayden Koval from UNC Greensboro, formerly of UC Arkansas. But these are two guys that, by their style, quality, and way that they play, can function on the court together. And I think that is one of the major keys to how the Cincinnati team is going to perform. We know that Evansville did take a couple losses when it comes to losing Samari Curtis to Bowling Green, but with Shamar Gibbons and Jawan Newton, these are guys that you have to find when they're on offense. These are shooters, bro. I'm telling you, these are guys that are in the top 10 of three-point attempts. These are the guys that are in the top freaking 25 of three-point makes. And it's going to be critical for Cincinnati to press. That's Wes Miller defense right there. They press, they pack the paint, and they make it difficult for you to get shots. They keep you off the fucking free throw line, and against Evansville, I don't see them being able to handle the press. Evansville, I will give them this. They are experienced. They did have some decent success, and the MVC is an improving conference. But with this Cincinnati team, I just think that it's not going to be a matter of how many points they got to put on you. They're going to be able to beat you scoring 70 points a game. It's a matter of, can you get to 60? So I think that Cincinnati is going to be able to dominate. I think Cincinnati is going to cover the 9.5 points. And I think that the game is going to stay under, because what happens in a rout, usually routes stay under.
Yeah. Can you hear me well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sorry. It sounded like I was cutting out. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to our guy, Nicky Fish Tanks, Boston Nick with the 369 dono. To the motherfucking window, to the wall. Let's get it. Viper NB, what up? Preston, Matty Ice, all our guys in. We appreciate you guys coming. Appreciate you getting it. And set the any questions the last 10-15 minutes on games. Just save it. We'll touch on anything you guys want to talk about here at the very end. Okay, let's get to mine. Was that all yours? You keep going. Your other ones. I know you got more. You want to roll through real quick. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no. Let's get to your games, and then we'll move on. Okay,
right here. This is one we talked about yesterday. I thought it was too much value. There was 3 spots, or right around 3 or 4 spots where I thought unders were valuable. We talked about people at Navy, Virginia. I know you like the St. Bonaventure Siena under a little bit, right, at 134. And this one with Fairfield and Providence was it for me. Like this, to me, I had kind of I think right around 125 with these teams. I mean, if you've played any Fairfield games, in the last few years. This team, it struggles to get over 50 points. It's just very, very difficult for them to do it. So at 133, it's difficult. Big favorites, the line's 15. And real quick, I got to get into, sorry I didn't mention it. And they got to play in the Dunkin' Donuts Center. I know that Nicky always says that that's his favorite place, the Dunkin' Donuts Center, where the Providence plays. Also in this one, I'd be leery of laying it with Providence. They're a good basketball team. I don't know if this spot, they're better than Fairfield. They should take care of business. But Fairfield, real quick, its last 73 games, 52-21 to the under. You talked about going first half. Was it 62? I think it is 63. I think that's good as well. You could double up here. I like Ed Cooley as a coach. Watson's good for Providence, but I think they hold him down. I don't know how Fairfield gets more than, around 50 tonight. And, Providence scores 70. It's just kind of cakewalk. At 133, too high. I just found this, like I said, the value here is about 7 or 8 points. So I got to take it. So I'm on full game. I haven't gone first half. Maybe I will. I'm just on the full game under 133 here. Bang!
Bang!
Oh no! Bang bang!
Don't ask, don't tell. Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate the dono, buddy. Damn straight we'll talk about Texas Tech and if they're sneaky better than Texas later on for you.
Oh, those are gonna be. We're gonna have Texas Tech games always. Those Mondays. Oh, they'll be in Texas, so it'll be great. Platinum Paul, freaking guy capping and trapping all damn day, baby. Dennis Trusty, Nasty Nate. Guy in here, Jacqueline Martin, everyone, Red Girl, everybody, Nuke Worker, guy, keep going. The nuclear plant, we love you. Thanks for everyone for joining. Hit the like, hit all that shit. Save some of your questions on some of these games to the end. And do you agree on this? Did you bet this, or what did you take in this game? Did you go first half?
Yeah, I'm on full game, Connor. I'm on the under also. I think that the funny part about this game was, why is Jay Young talking about, oh, we're a complete team, we're learned from last year, da 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 da. I'm like, bro, you guys lost by 41 in this game last year. You guys should shut your goddamn mouths and just fucking focus on basketball, not talking. This is a game where I think Providence rolls all over their faces again, but there is controversy because some piece of shit at the University of Providence wrote fucking something on Jared Bynum's fucking hood of the car, something fucking racist, something fucking disgusting. And I want to see that fucking arena erupt in support for him, because if they don't, I don't even know. Maybe this basketball team says, yeah, fuck Providence University. So a lot of explaining to do. I want to see the fucking fans support their freaking basketball team and their player that was fucking assaulted in one of the most vicious fucking non-physical ways. So,
yeah, and you talked about it. Fairfield, bring back their whole team, like they're good. They were horrible. If you only scored 50 a night and you bring back everybody, they still sucked. Like, are they gonna now all of a sudden start lighting it up? So I find it kind of who gives a shit that they brought back all their players. They're a team that struggled to score constantly. I took a shit ton of their unders in conference, non-conference. I'm on the under here, and I don't mind first half as well. Let's get to the next one. I'll just touch on this one quick because we kind of both talked about it. It was Morehead State. There was one we both kind of agreed on. I just thought 15 was too many. I'm going to get to another game. That's my next one. SEC team, I just don't find in these non-conference games at home, they're not very good, especially laying numbers like this. Bad teams, yes, they can score, but bad teams laying double digits, this 15, 20 points. This is where I want to take points, especially early on with these teams. So, yeah, Morehead, they're just good defensively. They will struggle scoring, we talked about, not very good from the free throw line. But Auburn isn't either, streaky, and I don't love their offense. Bruce Pearl, that was a team, what they finished, 14-13 last year, Auburn. They weren't very good. Can Pearl turn it around? I see more mediocrity from them, middle of the pack from Auburn. So, yep, I'm with you on this one. With Morehead State, we kind of delve into that one already. Let's get to my next one.
Damn straight. Let's do it, Connor.
Let's get it. My next one's, I just spoke on it, is Elon. plus 19. I thought this was a grip shit of points. Every time I can fade Florida, I want to do it. Maybe it's especially at home. Elon's been a great team stepping up, playing these in non-conference, playing these big schools like this. Their last 8 on the road, 7-1 against the spread. Florida, I played them all last year. Were home favorites constantly. I think they had 1 or 2 games where they stepped up, had big games, big shooting nights, and covered. Other than that, as home favorites, Florida was not very good. They have Johnson back. He's a scorer for them. But I just love Elon brings back 4 of its top 5 scorers, and I went through the stuff. So McIntosh and Butler both scored 15 for Elon. Having them back, I think they'll score tonight. I could lean on this over, but I just think the points are better. And I wanted to get this. We speak about buildings. I might be the building guy because when I write down every list, I already mentioned the Dunkin' Donuts Center. We got the Stephen C. O'Connell Center. Say that 10 frickin' times. Stephen C. O'Connell Center. What the hell? That got me cracking up today. But I'm on Elon. Grip shit of points. Fade Florida. What do you think, Maxie?
Yeah, listen, I like it also. What I learned about watching Mike White coach basketball teams are they don't know how to come out with some thunder. They don't know how to fucking keep a lead and cover a big spread. So I totally agree with you there. I just want to say that I think that Zach Irvin is going to be able to really step up his game and production for this Elon team. And with the amount of threes that this team shoots, it's just a matter of getting that 3-point shot going. And I think that they're going to be able to stay with Florida the entire game. So I like the play, and I like the under also in that game, but I liked it at 140, not at 137.5.
Excellent. Let's get to my next one. I believe we are heads up on this. If I saw, because I just caught some of the end of your show, is my game is UC Riverside against San Diego State. San Diego State is 13 and a half point favorites here in the Vijay Haas Arena. Love my arenas, this one tonight. UC Riverside, what a team last year, right? Very good. Probably the best team in 20 years. They have some length, and I think they're pretty good, but they've struggled on the road. I love San Diego State. I've doubted them too much. There haven't been a team I covered. I'm laying the wood here, which is wild. I'm laying the 13 with San Diego State. My biggest question mark is the Cal transfer. Matt Bradley, he was a ball hog at Cal. Will he be a ball hog again? We'll see. We'll see tonight. Are there? This is where we're going. Are we rolling here? Lay the 13 with San Diego State, baby. Lay it.
Yeah.
Right.
We're going head to head here, bud. We're going head to head here.
Bring it.
Let me tell you something. UC Riverside, how do you break the pack line defense? You fucking make threes, you have length, and you have athleticism and size, both something that UC Riverside has. And then, of course, you got to be physical. And when you got guys like Cal McRae coming back from injury, watching his team have so much success with Jock Perry in his spot, that boy is coming for some chocha. He wants some bougie cupcakes. He's not dipping his chicken tenders in honey mustard. He's dipping it in golden goddamn honey from a bee. Let's go Riverside. Wow. Let's go Riverside. Highlander, baby.
San Diego State, baby. Aztecs all day tonight. I doubted them a lot last year. We'll see. They lost a few of their scoring, and Bradley, he's the key, I think. If he doesn't play team defense, team basketball, they will not cover this. But if he's good, I think they win here and they cover.
Oh man. Sharpie with the poke. I like it, Sharpie. Shout out to Trade Day, my guy.
Oh, yeah.
Tell someone at Oklahoma and SMU to recruit his son. That boy will bring them a national championship on his own. Respect, my guy.
Respect. The Trade Day with the $4.99 dono. We appreciate it. Robert Cherry, Wichita State. Wow, with the Pomper play of the day. That's perfect. Robert, that's my next play. Man, I'm starting fires right now. Fade Wichita State. Jacksonville State returns a bunch of players, in this lineup. They can score. They play defense. I think they win the OVC title this year here. Wichita State is blah at home. Are they a good team? Yeah. Do they win this game? Probably. But at 2-6 against the spread, I don't love it. They're a solid defensive team. Nothing excites me here about Wichita State. I think Jacksonville State, I got 9. If you can get an 8.5, get it.
Connor, Maxwell Smart approves. You know why? Because now Jacksonville State is the problem of the conference of the ASUN. And with Ray Harper at the helm still there, bringing in Jalen Gibbs from Mount St. Mary, I love the size that they have with fucking Nugamizi and fucking Brandon Huffman, Kane Henry. Now they got a trio of scoring guards. Sounds like Jacksonville State's going to be fucking with their eyes open, and everybody in their mother thinks that Wichita State's a dark horse to win the American because they won it last year. I don't think so. No soup for you, buddy.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Real quick, guys, give us right now in the chat any games you want us to hit on. Throw us questions right now in the chat. I saw a few questions early on about some stuff which we look up on small games. Hit us right now in the chat. But man, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Or I don't know, 5:41. I think we got to get a man that's maybe from Boca Raton, Florida, in here. Jazz this up, light this show a little bit, slam a brewski. So my man, Nicky Fish Tanks, get in here. My guy, let's get a beer rolling. There he is.
Let's go.
I want a Miller Lite. Rip it.
Over 200
right now.
So first, all right, it's time, baby.
Fuck yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, tip that back. Yeah. Atta boy.
Look at that shirt.
That Miller. There we go. You don't need no shoe.
Look at the beard.
Going too. Look at this guy. He's a machine. God damn. Shout out to freaking Platinum Paul, my guy. Texas's finest.
Yeah. Let's go.
Let's go, Nick.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Cheers. I'll crack
season.
one. It's the end of the day. I've been up since the butt crack of dawn looking after all these games. Nicky, we're going to make you our weather guy, but all these games are in arenas, so you're shit on. You just lost your job.
Tonight, guys. Great weather.
Weather will be good in all these gyms. Go have fun. All you people that haven't been to a college basketball game in a few years, go have fun, relax. It should be a good time. Nicky, before we go, hit us up with some questions, guys, on games in the chat. We want to go over them for the last 10 minutes or so. Talk about, and then I'll talk about maybe some of my leans I have tonight. We'll just roll through. They'll have it bet on. Same thing with Max a little bit. But Nicky, we know you're unreal college basketball, handicapper. Give us your best bet tonight on a game.
I am going Gonzaga, but I'm going alternate lines. Okay, guys, I'm going 41 at even money. I'm going 42.5 at plus 115. I'm going 43.5, at plus 130, and I'm capping it up 44 at plus 140. I'm laddering that son of a bitch, just like my boy Big Show taught me. Well, it's cashing big bets. Let's go.
Nicky,
wow.
I got a question for you also.
Yeah.
Name me 3 players on Gonzaga. I want to know that you know what you're talking about. We don't have any time for Marty Mushes over here,
freshman
bud.
stud Ched Holmgreen. How about a little bit of Drew Timmy up in his bitch? And how about Andrew Nemhard, if you know what I mean? So let's
Damn
go.
straight. All right. At least you can name 3 players on the team. They got to teach that guy Marty Mush how to do that at Barstool, bud.
That's right, Marty Mush.
Nicky finally got into it. He finally got into the tournament when we were live. It was good to see. We'll try to get him on here for his basketball every once in a while. And we love to bring you on every once in a while on Friday too. We'll hit you up. Maybe there'll be a beer time. When beer time.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Everywhere.
Yeah.
Beer o'clock. Damn straight.
It's 2:40. I'm in Vegas and I might drink it. But hey, I've been up all fucking day. It's time. It's time, baby. It's time.
Yes.
That's got to get in soon. Let's hit up some of these in the chat. Some of these games we touched on Kentucky Duke. What else? Anyone else have anything here? You got anything that you're looking at, Max? Already answered here.
Yeah, listen, I think that I saw two questions that
Okay.
I want to talk about. Chattanooga, Loyola Marymount. This is a spot where you probably missed the best of the line if you didn't take it on the opener. Chattanooga is a team that should win the SoCon. This is a team that definitely has size and talent and very good guard play from David Jean-Baptiste, Malachi Smith, and Alex Caldwell. I think that going up against Loyola Marymount is definitely going to be a challenge for them on the road. This is the Loyola Marymount team that sneakily finished third in the West Coast Conference last year, and Stan Johnson did a wizard's job on the transfer market, bringing in guys like Cam Shelton from Northern Arizona. So there is a lot of quality, but the one thing that you have to remember about Loyola Marymount is they don't have natural size. They also have a guy that cuts his hair at his bang level, has a mullet, and looks like he would freaking ransack you in a dark alley. Kelly Lupepe. Don't fuck with that guy. But on the basketball court, this is definitely going to be a tough Loyola Marymount team. They may win the game. I just don't see them winning the game by more than two 3-point buckets.
Hell of a name, Pepe. I like it. I like it.
I see Max, that St. Thomas.
Yeah, St. Thomas.
Touch on that, please. Yeah,
absolutely. So St. Thomas, this is a team that is moving up from the D3 level. They get to start off with the biggest cupcake in college basketball, and that is playing Chicago State. We know that Chicago State has been Operation Fade for the last 3 years, and plain and simply, if you've been doing it, you got to ride St. Thomas in this game, and you got to freaking hope that Operation Fade Chicago State is still viable. This is St. Thomas team that has a ton of three-point shooting. They rely on the three-point shooting. They don't have a ton of size, but if they can make shots, they're going to beat somebody in this game, and they're going to beat Chicago State. So I like it. I think it's a good spot. And if St. Thomas can win this game, they'll definitely prove to the rest of the Summit League that they are someone to be taken seriously. So,
and real quick, we did hit that over 150 mark. I owe someone a Cash App. It's up to one of you two to pick who it is, and I will send the Cash App to the ill person you guys pick. So
I'll let Max. Nats Nate, you want to talk about Rhode Island? You want to hit on that real quick, Max?
Yeah, I think that with this Rhode Island game, I think that you have to be worried about this number. I think that it is really close to where it should be. And I think that with Rhode Island, losing Fats Russell is just such a big loss, even though if you are a box score watcher, you know that he had a lot of bad shooting games. I just think that when you take away that dominant scoring guard and then you want complementary scoring guards to step up and replace it, it's a real hard freaking thing for me to get behind. If they get really good production from Alan Bertrand, from the Towson transfer, and they get a lot of production from sophomore Ishmael Leggett, then I do think Rhode Island can have some value. I just don't like this double-digit spread taking them in this game against Boston U. Boston U's experience, they bring back all their key pieces, so it should be a hard-fought game.
Let's touch on this one real quick, Max. Do you have a bet in this game? I had a lean, hadn't bet it. In the Citadel is plus 10.5 versus Pitt, total 155.
Yeah, I'm on Citadel and Pittsburgh over 153. That's the play that I have. I just do not take unders with Citadel early. I think Hayden Brown is definitely a guy that can go off for 25 points. They will miss Caden Rice. They will miss Fletcher Abbey. But with Pittsburgh having Ethel Horton suspended, you're taking away one of their perceived go-to scorers in the backcourt. I think that this is a game where Pitt's definitely going to have to be on upset alert, but at the end of the day, I think that there's better value on the over.
What do you think on Preston's question? Kansas 15 or Purdue 16? Better championship future?
I would say
Kansas.
Purdue.
I knew you were going to say.
Yeah. Zach Edey, Trevion Williams. Now you have Caleb First already starting in his first game, and that could be a really dangerous mismatch at 6'9" if he can play like an upperclassman. I just love what Matt Painter does. This is the best team he's had in 20 years.
Let's get to the next one. UNC Wilmington, Illinois State for Arthur Meade.
Yeah, Arthur, this is a spot that I think that UNC Wilmington can win outright. I really like the fact that they play 5 out. They don't really care about having the size mismatch down low. They can just attack the rim and make some jump shots. And when you have Michael Kuro running the point and Jalen Sims as your wing scoring option, I just think it's a really good spot. So I think that Illinois State lost some key pieces last year. And even though Mark Freeman's coming in, I'm just not sure that he's going to be able to make the same kind of impact on another losing team, because that's what he's done. He's transferred from one losing team to another losing team.
Let's get to the next one. Belmont, Ohio. Nukeworker said, did you talk about that earlier or no? In today?
Yeah,
or on Jim?
I talked about that game earlier on Jim's show.
You want to just go real quick?
Yeah, I think that not having Dwight Wilson really hurts Ohio. They don't have any post defense to stop Muzinski, and if they can't stop the ball reversals and the off-ball movement, guys like Jacoby Wood and freaking Ben Shepherd are going to be scoring jump shots all night on Ohio's defense.
Shout, what do you have, Tone? What was the question you had? Shoot it in again if I missed it, brother.
St. Bonaventure. Team total over.
Oh, you likes it over? Yeah. Okay. What about you, Max? I had that game full game under, but
yeah, I have that game full game under, but I got it right at the opener at 139, and then I got it again at 136.5. I think that the biggest question with St. Bonaventure tonight is does Jalen Attaway and Kyle Lofton play? I haven't been able to check my news feed to figure that out yet, but if they're not going to be in the lineup, I do think that St. Bonnie wins. I'm not sure that they have that kind of dominant scoring performance. I think that they slow the game down even more than they usually do.
You know what? I think it's borderline for them to cover. Like, it's, there's not a huge blowout team. I just wouldn't look to lay. I love St. Bonaventure. They're one of my favorite teams. Let's get to another one. This one's pretty big. This one's one of our big ones. We'll get to some of our segments. The line movement this one had. We're going to get to as the year went on. Thanks for the question, Robert Allen, a few other guys. Chang Kim. FIU, like open, what was it, 11, 10? This has gone down to 7. Georgia's been horrible against non-conference teams. We talked about how bad Georgia is, scoring the ball defensively. At 7, I'm not crazy about it. If you caught it earlier at 10, I don't know if you bet this earlier, Max, but let them know. What do you think of this FIU Georgia game?
Yeah, when I saw that line at 11.5, I went right to my projections and I was like, yeah, I got 4 points of value on that shit. I got to take that right now. And I think that it got worse when this team suffered more injuries, because they got 2 or 3 guys that were supposed to be regulars in this lineup that aren't playing. And now you're looking around and you're like, well, you brought in Braylon Bridges for UIC. You brought in Aaron Cook from Gonzaga. Both those guys have the capability of being double-digit scorers. But are you really going to put all your eggs in the basket of Jalen Ingram and Jabari Abdul-Rahim, who couldn't even crack Tony Bennett's lineup? I'm just not freaking sold on this. I'm not sold on Tom Crean. I think that he knows that his time is running out at Georgia, and I don't even know if he makes it through the conference season as their coach.
This is a good one. Due to answer, Taylor MacArthur, will there be unders, he said early, like the NBA? Get into it, Max. I'll go after you just real quick. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that when we look at professional sports, what do people want to bet? They want to bet overs. They don't want to be betting a bunch of unders. And I think that the odds makers obviously know this. They adjust and they act accordingly. If we look at trends from past seasons, we will see that unders hit very often early in the college basketball season. And I don't think that this is going to be any different. I think that a lot of players are going to have a little bit of shyness when it comes to playing in front of a crowd again. So I think that it will work out in the second halves. Second halves will be higher scoring, but I do think that first halves will be low scoring to start the season. And Washington State Alcorn was a perfect example of that this afternoon.
Excellent. Great answer. I look for unders and spots. Not that I play overs as well. And watch it early on, these non-conference games. These are big lines. There's going to be blowouts. Some teams are only going 50. Some will score 90. You got to put that into everything you're handicapping. So it's a lot of games. Just take it game by game. But yeah, I definitely lean under. Let's get to go ahead. You had something to say, Max?
Yeah, this is my sheet that I have of my lines that I print out. And all these circles here were unders. Like that's all under circles. So when I look through,
can you hold it up one more time, Max? Just real quick. There we go. A little close. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So when I hold this up and I look through these numbers, I'm just like, wow, there's a lot of unders on this board. You know, like I could run down them right now. Like Southern Illinois is a good under. UIC Dayton's a good under. But all these lines have moved like 3 or 4 points already. So we really have to be strategic with totals because we don't want to be taking the ass end of the line. But remember, you guys are getting back into the flow of betting college basketball. You have to remember, lines are going to come out 18 hours before a game is played, and you want to be a day ahead of the line makers. If you're ready to pick your spots when the odds makers post, you're going to be highly successful long-term betting this, in my opinion.
Okay, let's get into a few more. We have a few more minutes. What about the Boise State? This one was interesting to me. Utah Valley, Boise State's favored by 14.5. Take it away.
Yeah, I think that with Utah Valley, if you don't double Fairdaw Meek, he's going to eat you guys up all day. He's going to be able to score high percentage buckets close to the rim, lots of dunks. He's going to get lots of offensive rebounds. But if you can bring doubles on him, you can really stop him. And Boise State has the roster and the personnel to do that. Leon Rice has Abu Kijab and Emmanuel Akot at his disposal. Both are guys that can be useful using to come over in doubles. And I think that's what Utah Valley is going to have to fight through. I don't really like their guard play aside from Trey Woodbury. And when it comes to Boise, Marcus Shaver is going to be the difference maker for this team. If he is the dominant scoring guard that he's capable of being, then Boise's going to be able to smack around Utah Valley tonight. And that makes me sad because like I like Utah Valley, but not enough to put my money on them.
Not enough for me too. I really can they cover? Yeah, but it's just not enough for me to get to the window. I want to take him 14.5. I can't. Well, let's get to one more. North Carolina AT&T plus 7.5, Max.
Yeah, with North Carolina A&T, this is a difficult spot. I thought that they should be around the favorite that they came out, and now we've seen like a 2-point line move. So it's just making me wonder who's betting this game and what the fuck do they know, because I want to know it also. I think that with North Carolina A&T, though, this is a group that I think with Cam Langley back is definitely a big plus for them. And I think that with his ability against Wes Miller-Liss UNC Greensboro team, they could be a live dog tonight. So I think that when you look at it, this is a group that's going to freaking have the most prolific pick and roll attack. They're going to full court press you. They're going to switch on you. And listen, when freaking ball screens come at you for guys like Dante Tracy and DeMonte Buckingham, I don't think that they're going to be able to get good shots off. So I like NCAA.
Okay, last one. Let's get to Oakland, West Virginia for the last one before we roll.
Yeah, this is just a spot, Connor, I like the over at. I think that with Oakland and Jamal Cain able to score on the inside, and then hopefully the 30-point-a-game guy in Taz Sherman is going to emerge again. I watched him do it against Akron in the exhibition season. This is a viable opponent that he could go off against also. And with Oakland and their lack of depth, I think West Virginia probably runs them out of the building at home.
Excellent, boys. Well, that's it. We got our hour. We ripped it. This is the first show. This shit's only going to get better, baby. We're just getting warm. The bells, the whistles, the shit talking keeps flowing, and the good, and the congrats. And hopefully we kick ass tonight. Everyone in the chat, hit the like, get some freaking winners, smash some beer, smoke a blunt, do whatever you want. Let's win today. For Nikki Fish Tanks, for Maxwell Smart, I'm Connor Mack, NCAA Net Profits. We are out. We be pumping!